What's up, everybody? Trip Morgan here for Panthers Source, joined by my buddy Billy.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Like you're going to say something. I didn't want to cut you off there. Big win tonight. Big win. I mean, I said going into this, we both said that this was going to be a statement game for Carolina. They came out. We knew what we were going to have the rest of the way, kind of judging off this game. Vikings were on an 8-game win streak. Very hot. We're going to get into everything. Y'all be sure to like, comment, and follow us here. Comment, jump on the comments to discuss, jump on the phones, talk to us, and we're going to hit some stats and stuff, and we're going to go ahead and get it started right now. So what's up, everybody? Again, big win. I mean, where would you even start, really? I mean, we can start right here and just start the highlights and roll through some of that. Panthers jumped out early. This, Darryl Worley right here off the get-go, interception on the first drive, kind of set the whole tone, didn't it?
Yeah, I'll give Worley props today.
Played a hell of a game. He's been inconsistent. He's had good games.
Yes, and I today we saw a good game, and I hope that he doesn't take 20 steps back as he has in the past.
Right, yeah. I mean, and then that led right here on the 3rd and 1, run the ball, Jonathan Stewart, straight down the hole. That looked bottled up from that angle originally, but that small hole was there. The Vikings continuously stacked the box against the Panthers. When you do that, if you gash a hole, there's nobody there in that second level. Vikings obviously came down and responded. Kyle Rudolph had a big first half. The Riot Report actually put something out on this, and was a good point. He had that big first half, the touchdown, 41 yards receiving, no targets and no receptions in the second half. Yeah,
he might not have hurt us in the second half, but Thielen did.
Yeah, they made their adjustments with that as well, and Thielen got his, that's for sure. And then, of course, on the following drive, they go right back down, they score again, and it kind of started like the Saints game. The first half, started to look good, and then the next couple of drives, it just kind of stalled out. And then, of course, the second half gets underway. They drive right down, score this. Cam doing his improv again. He's really good at that kind of stuff. Gets the touchdown. Panthers go up. And then this was crazy. I haven't ever seen anything like this before. I didn't really know what to make of it. We talked about it. We based it off of, does the quarterback have possession when his arm's going forward? I think that's what the referees, and it was a clean and cut ruling. There wasn't much discussed.
I was just disappointed in the recovery. After we recovered it, not moving the ball forward.
Yeah, they just, you'd like to see him just pick it up, and you didn't hear the whistle. Mike Adams was alert. It seemed like the only one picked it up. It felt like he could have picked up a lot more yards off of that. Then Bradbury had himself a pretty good game as well. Played the ball there. 3 turnovers to the Panthers defense today was huge. And then this is one thing we'll hit on in the defensive recap. Some bad tackling today too by Carolina Panthers, and that's not something you normally see a lot out of a Panthers defense. But they had some tackling issues last week, and they had it again this week, and we've seen it off and on. And even Luke took some bad angles. He missed a sack taking a bad angle on Keenum. And Keenum was a large part of their offense on the ground, keeping drives alive with his feet. And then that right there, the Cam interception, kind of on him and on CMC. CMC should have called it. Cam could have put the ball in a little better placement. And then this right here, after things, Vikings clawed their way back into it, we're all sitting here like, here we go again. And then, yeah, here we go again. Cam does Cam things and takes you down there to win the game, take the lead. And Vikings are going to have another shot. But the defense, again, steps up and just, like somebody said, after I posted about us winning on Facebook, somebody commented and said they imposed their will defensively on that last drive, and they did. They did just that. So, good stuff. And we'll jump right into the offensive recap here. Cam Newton, 13 of 25, only 137 yards passing today. I mean, That's his third lowest of his career in a win, I believe, is what Bill Voth tweeted.
We kept the field short with all the turnovers.
Yeah, that, and they were running the ball today. And I thought, like, the numbers don't jump out at you, but I thought Cam had another solid game today. There was only 2 sacks. Offensive line actually did really well considering the last 2 times. Last year when his team met, we gave up 8 sacks, and Cam had 3 interceptions. The special teams killed us. It looked like at one point they were going to get another special teams touchdown off the punt return. Scary moment there. But they didn't. Cam did have that interception, like we said. I felt like that was kind of on both of them. They sent a double A-gap blitz. Pressure was there immediately. Cam threw off his back foot trying to get something. It was the right read. He just set it a bit high, but it came off both hands of Christian McCaffrey. I felt like it's something he's got to have. But, they came right back down, and Cam with the big 62-yard run.
Yeah, the biggest thing, and we talk about it every week, is when we need the third down conversion, our receivers are still not getting to the marker. And luckily, on the one drive, we were bailed out by face mask penalty after face mask penalty. And I just kept, it bailed out again because we weren't going to get it. And that's just something I want to see them go deeper on the route and come back to the marker. It's just that's football 101.
Yeah, Demir, and I was talking to Buddy Robbie. He said, why does Demir Bird never get to the sticks on third downs on a route? And I said, dude, we talk about this every week at the house. I mean, this is something that constantly happens. It's not just him. Devin Funchess is bad about doing it, and he should really. I mean, he's Panthers' #1 target right now. He should know better, but it happens all the time. They're doing these little comeback routes, and you need to stop right there at it. So when you fall, you're falling across it. And Bird had it happen to him today. That's a situation I told you, 6 inches. I'll take my chances with Cam sneaking it. They didn't. Rivera wants to play conservative. That's what they did. And in the long run, it worked out. I mean, I can't express how big of a win this was today. I said something to you about how crazy it would be. Like, this is the best Vikings team I think they've had in years. They've had a great defense the last few years, but I feel like as a whole, and the record shows it and the way they played and the streak shows it, this is the best team they've had in years. And the last 2 times Carolina's played them, last year at home, they destroyed us. We jumped out 10-0 in the first half, thought we had the game, and then Sam Bradford came out, dinked and dunked us, and sacked Cam. The turnovers happened. And coming into this game, it just seemed like Mike Zimmer, and I saw all y'all Vikings fans, by the way, jumping on our YouTube comments, talking a lot of trash this week, and that's fine. I mean, I like a good trash talk. Y'all were red hot. But the things everybody was saying, it seemed like Zimmer just had the Panthers' number, had Ron Rivera's number, and I told you, I was like, it would be weird. Not like a shock, but it's just crazy that we would come out and win this game versus past years. Of course, last year we did have some injury issues and whatnot, but, I mean, just a huge win, especially in the aspect of the playoffs.
Yeah, and it was – we said Keenum had to Keenum, and the defense forced those turnovers and did a great job to get this hot quarterback back cold again today.
Yeah, and, Keenum still outside of – like I said, he kept drives alive. The Panthers sacked him 6 times, which is big, but they could have had 10 in this game. I mean, there was, I know of 3 where Luke took a bad angle. He had a guy containing that edge coming at him, and he ran straight towards Keenum. He escaped. Munnerlyn just went to tackle him up high, and he should have been going at his waist. He missed one. And then I think there was one other one. I can't remember who it was, but you could have had easily 9 sacks in this game. And Keenum kept drives alive for him, but the pressure. This is what the Panthers defense was supposed to do all year. This is what that scheme Steve Wilks is bringing was supposed to look like consistently when Carolina's doing their job. Now, granted, we talked about it. They did miss tackles badly today, but the pressure was there. And I mentioned when I announced the inactives earlier this morning that Mike Rimmers, the former Panthers right tackle, was out, and he's had a good season with Minnesota. We talked about this in a preview this week. He was out, and then their rookie standout center was also out. And then Riley Reif went down in the game as well. And I think that started to show on the line maybe, or maybe, the Julius Peppers couldn't be blocked today.
Yeah,
I mean, he was just a machine.
I mean, he should have had 2 sacks.
Yeah.
They didn't give him the 1 sack.
Yep. But to finish up the offense, Jonathan Stewart, 16 carries, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is the first 100-yard rusher the Vikings defense has allowed all season. Pretty impressive stuff there. Obviously, a lot of it came on that chunk touchdown, 60, 70 yards, whatever it was. A lot of it came on that, the 60-yard one. Cam Newton, 11 carries, 70 yards, that dual threat dynamic playmaker he is, and his long of 62 was obviously the one that set up the go-ahead touchdown late, putting the team on his back in a situation when he needs to. Again, can't say enough about him. Like I said, I felt like he had a pretty good game overall.
Yeah, I felt
controlled it.
Yeah, he
game
controlled
management.
When he went to the sideline and they showed him tucking his towel in after that interception, I was like, oh.
But he does that every time.
But he does it every time. But there's some right after, like sometimes he just has that look. And today I saw that look again, and I was kind of worried. And then he came out, and they saw him on the sideline. He was clapping and smiling. Then came out, and then he's like, "I got this. Like, we got it." And that run, that move he put on to extend that run was nasty.
He killed. What is that safety's name? Harrison Smith or?
No,
I think
was,
it was.
The first move was on Sendejo.
Oh, the linebacker. That's right. Yeah. But man, he killed. I mean, it was just a subtle little cutback, but he killed that guy. Just a great run. I think I saw a stat or something. He's the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era to have 3 rushes in a single season of 60 yards or more. For people who care about those crazy stats, I don't know how anybody keeps up with them kind of things. It's got to be an easy job when it's only 3 in a season. But anyway, Christian McCaffrey, 8 carries, 35 yards. Didn't really feel like he was involved a lot today.
His involvement has it's
a damn roller coaster.
At the beginning of the year, it was like, okay, we're using him too much, and then we've gone away from using him even in the passing game now. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't think they're using McCaffrey enough.
Yeah, I feel like this game is particularly one you want to do that. Now, they motioned him. I started seeing them motion him more out of the backfield when they were stacking that box and creating some mismatches, which is good. But it's like you said, they didn't seem to really scheme or game plan for him this game. When he did get touches running the ball, he seemed to do well, though, again. So that's another positive sign. They kind of use him in spurts, it feels like. I don't know. Hitting y'all's comments for a minute. Worley, finally aggressive. Walter Vanderpue. Peppers look good today, too. Yep, both of them are great. Jeremy McKinney finally showing exactly how you get aggressive on all phases of the game. Yeah, and look, that's the immediate thing Billy and I took out. The first quarter was this team came out and played physical on all ends of the ball. Yep. I mean, and that's what you want to see. That's what they're built to do. Walter, again, if we can get Jay Stu running like this, we're going to be scary in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, if we can get anybody running like that. But I still want to see it more consistent. He had the big run, and Cam had the big run, but that right there is 100. Let's see, their totals.
122 yards.
Yeah, it's 122 yards out of their total 216, which is still good. I mean, 216 yards, another 200-plus yard game. That's 3 for them this season, and 3 in the last month, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But
I'll be pessimistic. 60-yard. Of course, he broke the 60-yard run with the formation that surprised the Vikings with the extra lineman in, but he only had 40 yards after that. So it wasn't like a crazy game. That's
the thing with Stu is he's going to get those hard-earned yards, those grinded-out yards, and especially on near the goal line like today. If you had him in fantasy, my goodness, and I don't know who really would have had Jay Stu starting in fantasy. That would have been a wild option against the Vikings, but 100-plus yards was like 105 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jesus. Crazy. Walter Sendeju's ankles are still on the field after that juke, LOL. Yeah, I'd say so. Antonio Corral, boy, if we could have gotten all the sacks. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the crazy part, but the pressure was there, and you could see it affected Keenum a lot today. He was getting happy feet. He would take off running, which actually worked in his favor, as we mentioned. So, Brandon Harris, I was just glad to see Jay Stu quiet all the haters. Look, sure, it works in our favor. Do what you need to do. Kenneth Hilton, last quarter we were too conservative. I agree, and while we're on the offense, we'll go ahead and address that right now. I've said it all season. It's been my biggest thing. Mike Shula goes conservative one drive too early for me every game we get up big. 11 points is, as we saw once again today and we've seen 100 times, is not a big enough lead, even if that's game clock management like Carolina wants to do, control the time of possession and hold you on defense. 11 points against a caliber NFL playoff team like the Vikings is just not enough.
Yeah, and
a field goal makes a big difference.
And the run game was working, and there was at some point in the middle of the game where we had 3 and out, and we threw the ball 3 times. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we seemed to change too much because we had 5 possessions without a first down, and that's nuts.
Yeah.
And that's what it was a defensive game. And the whole time, because last week I projected 24-13. I'm just saying, don't score anymore. I just want to be right.
Yeah.
Through the fourth quarter, but I feel like the run game was there, and then we abandoned it. At the beginning of that 5 drives with no first down.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they got conservative, it seemed like they were going to be grinding it out. Cam audibled that one time. He saw him stack the box, bring the blitz, and he audibled the play. Whitaker ran a little pick play. And the ball was there. Whitaker just didn't get his head around it and see it. But, it's just too conservative a drive too early for me, and that's the biggest thing that stands out there. Jumping to the defensive side now, we'll talk about this, and it started early, and I think they tightened up pretty well on it. Carolina struggled against New Orleans badly getting off the field on 3rd and longs defensively. And they started that again today. Like the first drive of the Vikings before Worley got that pick, I felt like they did it twice maybe. And then a couple other times they gave it up, but it was giving it up to Keenum.
Yeah, and I didn't know that stat about the best percentage of 3rd down conversions in the league or whatever until I read a YouTube comment this week. And I was like, every 3rd down, I was like, damn, they did it again. Like it would just happen. If Keenum didn't pass the ball, if we didn't give up, we didn't have soft coverage, and he made a completion, he was getting on his feet, and that Keenum. I mean, I give respect to Keenum after today. He knows how to play it, and I think the Vikings system allows him to show off his skills.
Yeah, definitely. And look, again, guys, y'all be sure to follow us, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. Like and follow us here on Facebook so you get our notifications. It's really this easy. Right from your phone, you can do it. We post all these videos and previews and film analysis on YouTube each week as well, so you can keep up with us there. On Twitter is where we're at a lot during the game. On YouTube, y'all can hit that little bell. Bam. So y'all do that. Follow us on Twitter. That's where we do a lot of I put up a lot of stats and stuff. I tweet during the game, stuff going on, yada, yada, interact with everybody. I don't get on, as I said before, I don't get on Facebook much during the game. It's just too much hassle to keep all of it doing and try to enjoy the game as well. But back to the defense. Case Keenum, 27-44, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 6 sacks for a loss of 24. And he was also the second leading rusher, 5 carries, 40 yards on the scrambles and stuff. I mean, that was the biggest key to me. I felt like he was single-handedly keeping him in the game. But if that's the way it's happening, I think I can live with that. I think you'd rather have him get him forced out of the pocket and having to make plays with his feet than making big bombs to receivers or anything else like that. So, Latavius Murray, 9 carries for 14 yards, and some trash talking to Luke Kuechly, which
that next play after he talked trash to Luke, I was just like, yeah,
got your ass,
got your back.
Yeah. Got your ass handed to you there. Trey Poole, I started him at flex. Thanks, Juju. Well, yeah, thank you, Juju, because I'm not sure Juju would have got you those same amount of points. Brandon Harris defense played clutch in the end. Yeah, they did. Look, they stepped up and they got to Keenum and actually finished the sacks. And Rivera said that was an adjustment they had to make at halftime. He got on him. He said, "Quit tackling him high and go at his waist and take him down." Chandre Williams, did anyone else see how the Browns almost beat the Packers? It's going to be a fight next week to take the South and move out of the wild card. Not sure the South is up for grabs just next week unless the Saints lose. But yeah, it's gonna. Aaron Rodgers possibly coming back now. We'll get to that in the road to the playoffs in a little bit. Back to the defense. Adam Thielen, you talked about it. Looked like he was going to go out with an injury at one point, but he came back in. 6 catches, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. And, this is something. Shaq Thompson was out. Colin Jones was in what they called the frog package for, their nickel stuff, along with Captain Munderland in and out. And I felt like the coverage was much better on those deeper throws to the slot guys like Thielen. And with Shaq Thompson out, we talked about it. I felt like it worked better. Now, he had 105 yards, but it's Adam Thielen. I feel like he's going to get his due anyway. And then they played soft in the end. That ended up giving up the big touchdown to close it, to cut it close. Stephon Diggs, 6 catches, 64 yards. Didn't feel like he was really effective. He had yardage, but I didn't feel like he was really effective.
He had some big drops.
Yep.
And that's the one thing.
Yeah, he also had the one at the pick. Yep.
Yeah, the pick, and this team doesn't drop balls, as we saw today. They had 5 on the year. They had 5 or 6 today.
Yeah, that's right.
So their offense was not clicking today.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, they had 5 throughout the whole year, and like you said, 5 or 6 today. One of them went for an interception off of Diggs. That was a high pass from Keenum as well.
The Randolph.
Yeah, Kyle Rudolph. Yeah,
Rudolph dropped the seam pass. Yeah.
Yep. And speaking of Rudolph, like we said earlier, 3 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. That all came. It was a seam touchdown pass that Keenum threw. Mike Adams just missed the interception or knocking it away, but that was on a seam route. And then when he dropped, it looked like the sun. He turned and he was right in the sun. Was also a seam, and he had been another chunk gain. So again, hitting the seams on the Panthers secondary seems to be a targeted thing. Second half, zip, nada, nothing. Good adjustment there, but like we said, when she started backing off to play the conservative, more defense, not to give up the deep ball, Adam Thielen kind of went off. So they made their adjustment. We made ours, and we came out on top. And then you have Laquan Treadwell, 2 catches, 23 yards, and then it goes down to, just pennies on the dollar there. So,
and I was looking at the stats again on our offense. Burson had 1 catch today on a 3rd and long, and he sold it. I don't know how he kept the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we said it last week or week before. Burson has been that person that when you need him to catch the ball and come in the game, he does something. And today we needed a first down, and I don't know how he held on to it.
I actually put out on Twitter, I said, are y'all still complaining about Burson's hands now over 1 punt at 3 years ago? I said, I think we can quit that now, guys. Now, like we said, we're not sitting here claiming he's Jordy Nelson or some elite receiver. We're just saying he's not a bad possession receiver for those reasons right there. The 3rd and longs, he's in there, he finds a spot in the zone, he sits, and he's able to make a great catch. So, kudos to him. And check y'all's comments. Whoop. Let's see. Madison Kelly, Cam ran. Yes, he did. Kenneth Hilton, we should have had went at the backup when Rhodes went out. Yeah, but Rhodes wasn't out. I think he was out like 3 plays, and I think we may have ended up forcing a punt on that drive, but he came in the next series anyway. So I don't think it was as much of an opportunity as we'd like it to be. Player of the game, Billy. Who would you go with? Let's see here. I'll pull up the
Player of the game.
Got a couple of options. Really, it depends on how you want to weigh it. You got Jonathan Stewart, but he had he had 3 touchdowns. So obviously, that's pretty big. Cam's clutch run is a big one, and then you could also give it to the defense as a whole. Really,
I'll give it to the secondary.
Okay. That's a good point. Stepping up. Yep.
Yeah, stepping up because besides the 52-yard, when we're playing soft coverage bomb, they played well. They got turnovers today. There wasn't a lot of penalties committed, and actually, I was thinking through the game, I don't think there was even a holding call anywhere in the game. At the beginning, it was a little sloppy with some face masks, but
yeah, Khalil got his 3rd face mask penalty in 2 games. Which is disappointing, but he cleaned it up after that. I felt like the offensive line did well against that pass rush.
Yeah, I'd give it to the secondary for stepping up because that's where the whole season they're suspect.
Yeah, and I think I'll give it to that front 4: Starla Tulele, Quan Short, even Vernon Butler had a couple of good plays today coming in rotating. Mario Addison and Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers got robbed of a sack today, which sucks. Should have had 2 on the game, and I believe. What's he got, like 8.5 now, or 8 or 9? I didn't pull it up there, but yeah, I'd give it to that front 4 because that's what we need more of is just front 4 pressure. Now, granted, we were still blitzing a lot, we still brought the blitzes, but when it gets those guys singled with their blockers and then they're hitting home, that's the big key. That's what you want to see, and they did that today. Defense stepped up big. I just hope it's like we've talked about. consistency is the biggest thing with Carolina. Can we see it again next week? Aaron Rodgers coming back.
Hopefully. At this point, I don't want Rodgers to come back.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think. We definitely rather not see him, but it's probable at this point. I think,
and
depending on his
everybody, he brought up the Cleveland Browns today. They have a new offensive weapon in Josh Gordon.
Yeah,
and he was amazing before all the years he's missed. It's given an outlet for Kaiser to have some good games, but the offense of the Packers sucks. So, it's too mediocre offense without Rodgers. Yeah, right. Without Rodgers. So
that's what I'm worried about with the secondary and the seams and
stuff.
I
wouldn't look too much at that game today. It's just me.
And I think we'll probably hopefully we'll have something by our Wednesday preview show on the Rodgers. If he's going to play, he's got to have an MRI, another X-ray done to see how the bones healed, his collarbones healed, and that'll play a big factor into that as well. And just hopefully, I'm not terribly worried about their defense. I was much more worried about this matchup than I was Green Bay moving forward. If we can get past Green Bay, we should be able to beat Tampa Bay, and then we have a big divisional game in the year against Atlanta. And with that, it's going to lead us right into the road to the playoffs. Eagles are playing right now, and that score, I don't actually have it pulled up here. But Billy's going to work on that, I believe. But right now, Carolina is sitting in the projected fifth seed spot, moving up. Saints are down at the fourth, or at the fourth spot right now. Seahawks are sixth, and the Rams are third. Seahawks were currently losing to Jaguars in Jacksonville, and that would be good for Carolina as well. Push them a little bit further back.
That would be good.
It is crazy to comprehend Jacksonville beating Seattle to me. That defense is so good.
It is good.
It is so good.
And when you were in here getting the show ready, I was out there watching and seeing what they've done to Russell Wilson. I mean, he's not even.
His quarterback rating was his QBR was 9. His passer rating was 19.
Yeah. Yep. And he had 79 yards. I think it was in the beginning of the third quarter, and a bunch of turnovers.
Yeah.
So the Rams are winning 35-34.
Yeah, and I think there was a big injury just in that game. I saw in one of our group chats that we were sitting there talking about. I don't know who it was, but whoever it was ruled out really quickly. And for those of you still watching, go ahead and look, drop in the comments where are you watching the show from. So we like to know, kind of where all y'all from. We're right here out of Greenville, North Carolina. We're about 3.5 hours east of Charlotte. There's Bank of America, and then boom. We're like, it looks much further than 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And it's probably 4.5, depending on how you drive. I'm a speed demon, so
I
get up and out there.
I will say Russell Wilson's doing Russell Wilson things, and he's making a comeback.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Come on, Jaguars.
Yeah, they're at the 50-yard line with 2:35 left, down by 6. So hopefully that Jaguars defense can hold up.
Antonio Carrell commented up here. He said, remember Tony Romo on Turkey Day 2015 talking about came back from the collarbone. Everybody said, Romo's back. They're going to end the Panthers' undefeated season. That didn't end too well for him. Instead, now he's calling Panthers games.
And I saw some Panthers fans on one of the Panthers site talking about that. The collarbone maybe was part of that. But his back injury was the real reason.
Yeah, he was getting banged up left and right that year. Kenneth Hilton thanks.
Carson Wentz knee injury.
Yeah, I saw because our buddy Robbie was in the chat and he was like, it was his knee injury and he was almost ruled out immediately. The way he made it sound, that's a huge blow. I hate to see that happen to any great athlete like that. But that would be a huge blow for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And like I said, our pregame show Thursday before the Saints Falcons game, I said if Kamara goes down, the Saints tank.
Look, these guys are they're watching the games right now. They're able to give us these updates that we don't even know about. Maybe we should I'm gonna have to get a TV in here so we can just turn on Red Zone and leave it on.
But I said if Kamara went down for the Saints, that they would tank. And the other one I talked about in the NFC was Wentz. And if that knee injury is serious, they're in big trouble.
Got a couple of roll calls up here. Trey Poole, what's up, buddy? Battleground, Washington. Ricky Douglas, Hawaii. Damn, we got people across kind of across the pond, I guess you'd say. Antonio Carrell, Jacksonville. Is that Florida or North Carolina? And then Daniel Cotes, Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been there once. I'd like to go to Hawaii. If I do, Ricky, you'll have to hook us up with like a flight over there or something, maybe. Be a cool little vacation. We went to Nashville not too long ago. That place is a blast. I played one show. I'm a musician. I played a show in Knoxville a few years ago, but it was beside a adult store, so that was interesting. Anyway, thanks for y'all dropping that at Jacksonville, North Carolina. Cool. So you're right. We're about an hour and a half from you, so that's cool. Billy grew up down the road from there.
It's about an hour and a half away.
From
about an hour, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, I wouldn't
from the
have guessed
beach
that.
to Jacksonville, yeah, it's about an hour.
Damn. Shows how much I know. I don't get out there enough. So yeah, but road to the playoffs, like I said, huge win for the Panthers, 9-4. And if the Eagles fall to the Rams, right now they're the projected first seed because obviously the Vikings lost to us. That put them at 10-3. Eagles are 10-2, and that would even things back up. And I think right now, with what they were saying in our broadcast today was that it would come down to some kind of strength of win,
strength of opponent or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
So, and Vikings were leading that.
Yep.
And I don't know if the Panthers beating them. I mean, obviously it hurt them record wise, but the strength part, I don't know. I guess it's strength of wins anyway, so that wouldn't matter. But
I don't know how they rank that in NFL. I don't compared to like college where they have RPI and stuff like. I don't. So, but we played. I mean, New England was bad when we played them, but now New England is a real good contender.
Yeah.
If it goes by record, then we played the Eagles. They have a good record. We played.
And that's just it. Like I was talking about on the preview show, Carolina was 1-3 against current playoff teams that they played on their schedule. Now they're 2-3. And next, let's see, Green Bay's not a playoff. The next team they'll play would be Atlanta, and they're in the hunt. They're not even currently seeded right now. So again, Carolina's in the driving seat, controls their own fate. And we just got to hope the consistency shows up now. Greg Olsen going down. Well, it didn't go down. He finished the game, but he's clearly not healthy. The foot's bothering him. Didn't even have a catch today. It looked like there was a couple times when he was open, but Cam had other targets.
And we went 8 weeks without him. Now we've gone. We went a half with him, a game without him, and then today ineffective. Partial of a game. I'm not. Don't rush him back. Like if we need to, let him sit on the sideline another week or two, I think we'd be fine without him still. And I think the difference in McCaffrey is when Olsen comes to the game. Those plays that were built for McCaffrey, we're looking for Olsen now. Mm-hmm. And I think since Olsen's been back, that's when McCaffrey's targets have gone down, and his usage in the backfield and even as a receiver has gone way down. Yeah,
and that's a fair point. I just feel like Olsen being out on the field, still they have to respect that, and that's what helps. And the doctors have been saying everything we've heard. This is obviously what the Panthers staff and front office is telling us, but everything they've been told is it's just pain. It's a pain tolerance thing, and if Olsen's saying he's ready to go, then he's ready to go. He came off limping hard, but he went right back out there. I didn't see him limp the rest of the game. I don't know. Maybe he had a rock in his shoe. I don't know. It was weird.
I didn't see the limp because I was in the kitchen. But everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
Every time I'm in the kitchen, you're in the kitchen.
I was like, "Man, we'll be all right. He can go to the sideline. We'll be good."
Yeah, and we were fine. He came back in. He finished the game, and he said that was his goal, and he did that. So it's still something teams and defenses are going to have to respect. And if he's out there, I still feel like he can find those spots in the zones. I mean, he can use his IQ, which he has a high one for his position. So, Kenneth Hilton, let's see, Trey Poole. I think as soon as we clinch, we rest everybody. We're not going to clinch.
We don't clinch until the end.
Yeah, we won't clinch until the Falcons game. If we clinch at all, but it will come down to the Falcons game.
And it will come
down.
Yeah, it will come down to the Falcons game if we lose next week. And then we have to have some other people lose.
Yeah. If Seattle ends up losing their game, we'll be in pretty good shape. We could afford to lose one more. I think 11-5 will get us in, but you can't. I mean, obviously you can't count on that.
Yeah.
But also, if Seattle ends up beating the Jaguars, then y'all keep us posted on that because I know somebody said it was 2 minutes left, so that should be ending here in a minute. But if Seattle wins, comes back and wins, and all of a sudden, I mean, you got to keep pace to stay with them. So, and actually, let me pull that back up. Yeah, because they're the projected 6th seed right now, so they're hot on Carolina's tail. Hopefully, they can pull that off.
Yeah, this game is all but over. They're on the 31-yard line. Jacksonville is about.
Oh, okay. So, and the NFC's starting to shake up even crazier now because you have these top teams starting to lose, and you're starting to question. My biggest thing, and you mentioned in one show about Eagles being a Super Bowl team, and the Eagles are great. I mean, they're hot right now. They're a good team, and I would definitely say they're one of the top Super Bowl contenders, top 2, 3, something like that. But my biggest thing was they hadn't played strong opponents, which isn't their fault. I don't blame any team for beating the schedule that they're dealt. That's nothing they can control. You go out there and you beat the teams, and they have not only beat the teams, they have handed them big losses. But the Carolina, we both said this, the Carolina game, we felt like we could have won that game if we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot. And I'd feel good if we had to play them again, but if they lose this, that puts them and the Vikings right back at 10-3, and you're one of those teams are hoping they could switch up, and then they're tied with the Rams, or the Rams are going to be 10-3 if they end up winning that game. So that's going to be interesting. I should really have a TV, and we should do like a red zone playoff.
37-35 Rams ball. 3:45 to go.
Oh shoot! So I might have to get over here and watch this game.
And while you were in here, I don't know, you didn't see the game, but the Rams scored a touchdown on a block punt earlier.
Damn.
Yeah.
Find ways to do it. Anyway, I saw Jeremy Monette, Greenville, North Kakalaki. Yeah, I know where you at, but thanks for commenting with it anyway. Let's see. Jaguars about to win inside field goal range territory. Bunch of flags in the Seattle game. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, I think that's about going to do it for us. Look, big win for Carolina again. Can't stress it enough. Vikings fans on YouTube, booyah. I'm going to sit over here with I'm going to go get by a frog suit and make some damn tea because y'all were, look, I even saw my boy Pat Coltrane. What's up with ya? I said, baby Bubba, what's up with ya? No, he had to actually make a whole nother video on his YouTube to address the Vikings fans talking trash in his preview. So I thought that was pretty funny. But he told him, he said, I was trying to give y'all props for a good team, this and that. He said, and y'all do have a good team. He said, I'm just going to, we going to win. The Panthers going to damn win. And we did. We both projected a win. You said 24-13, about had it. 24-13, yeah.
Yeah, 24-13. We scored
17-14.
18 points or whatever was scored in the fourth quarter. So,
but do what we had to do, and the fact that we were able to go down that last drive that way and win it in that fashion has to make you feel better about things moving forward. So hopefully we don't get as conservative late, but we're going to get out of here, guys. Like I said, be sure to like, follow, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on at Panther Source on all these things. You can see it right here again. I've got this video up for y'all. I made it. Cool little snazzy thing. At Panther Source on everything. We're also on Instagram at Panthers_source. I put up some clips from shows sometimes, and maybe a couple of pictures, or just to be up there. Really, I don't get on Instagram a whole lot, but you can check us out there too. But appreciate you joining us, and we will catch you next time. We'll see you Wednesday night for the preview show, and we'll see if maybe we'll have something about Aaron